Downey Jr., after a 5-year break, is returning to Marvel, but before he did that, he actually turned down Ryan Reynolds.
All right, you guys, so Ryan Reynolds obviously has to be deported back to Canada. Once again, this is a way for the left and the right to come together, because no matter where you stand on the topic of mass deportations of illegals, we can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high treason.
So Robert Downey Jr. just made it clear he's not interested in working with Ryan Reynolds. Why?
So Robert Downey Jr. just made it clear he wants nothing to do with Ryan Reynolds. Why? Because, according to Inside Chatter, Ryan and Blake allegedly tried to set him up in a way that mirrors the same drama Justin Baldoni exposed. Word on the street is that Ryan approached our DJ for a cameo, but Downey quickly realized something wasn't right and backed out before things could turn dangerous. Now, with more Hollywood secrets spilling out, it seems like Robert's decision may have everything to do with the recent revelations about Blake and Ryan, with Justin already speaking out. Other celebrities are lining up to share their own experiences. Even Martha Stewart has chimed in, and what she said about Ryan has only fueled the fire.
We asked Built members what celebrities would be the most fun to hang out with.
He's probably on the list just because he covers himself up in his movies and you don't see his face. Ryan Reynolds, is he one of those? And you want to know something? He's not so funny in real life.
Really?
We asked a few people which celebrities they think would be the most fun to hang out with. Of course, Ryan Reynolds' name came up. He's always cracking jokes in movies, always playing the funny guy. But here's the twist. According to those who've met him, that's just an act. In real life, Ryan isn't nearly as funny as he seems on screen.
Robert Downey Jr., after a 5-year break, is returning to Marvel, but before he did that, he actually turned down Ryan Reynolds. Making the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman told Ryan Reynolds in 2021 he'd return as Wolverine after saying 4 years earlier he'd never come back doing the movie Logan. It was one of the most cameo-filled movies in history, where 45 different actors from both the MCU and the Fox universe returned for Deadpool and Wolverine. But one actor Ryan Reynolds asked to return for Deadpool and Wolverine was Robert Downey Jr., saying he wanted him to share a scene with Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau does actually have a very big scene in the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, but that scene was originally written with Robert Downey Jr. taking the main stage and Jon Favreau only being a small part of it. He even wrote the scene in 2018 just so it would make sense for Robert Downey Jr.'s character to be in there, because it does take place before the events of Avengers Infinity War. When Ryan Reynolds approached Robert Downey Jr. with the script, he said he was completely shocked he got an instant no. The reason was Robert Downey Jr. was already in talks to return as Dr. Doom, but he couldn't tell Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds said he didn't know about that until it was revealed, but now is happy for him and said he wants to fight him.
And now, with Robert Downey Jr. seemingly siding with Justin, it feels like Ryan and Blake might really be in trouble. The big question is, what exactly did RDJ say? And does he know something the rest of us don't? Let's break it down. According to the latest reports, when Ryan was putting together the dream list of actors for Deadpool 3 cameos, Robert Downey Jr. was at the very top. And honestly, that makes perfect sense, because it doesn't get much bigger than our DJ, screenwriters Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick even confirmed they had written a scene with Happy Hogan and Tony Stark in mind. So Ryan pulled out all the stops. To get Downey on board, he pitched the idea, he read the script to him, he tried everything he could. But here's the shocker: Robert Downey Jr. turned it down flat. No cameo, no deal. Nothing.
Candace Owens posted to her story saying she spoke to a source that claims Ryan Reynolds is the problem. She said the tip came from someone who allegedly worked on the set and said lately everyone is bashing Blake Lively, but apparently the true villain of the saga is Ryan. This person is alleging that everything started when Ryan Reynolds decided to stroll onto the movie set one day and review the dailies. This is an industry term for all the footage that they filmed for the day. And he also decided to take a look at the script, and between the two, something allegedly set him off. This person claims that the production assistants then overheard Ryan and Blake having an argument in her trailer. Ryan Reynolds started being on the set on a regular basis as if he were her chaperone, and that is when he started inserting himself into the actual production, including writing lines. And then she says the next part was alleged in their lawsuits that Ryan and Blake, perhaps in response to her husband's anger, began inserting themselves in the effort to change lines and change scenes. And of course, the allegation that Ryan Reynolds was making fun of Justin Baldoni in his movie when he played the character Nice Pool. And we did hear this, I believe, from Justin's lawsuit, but correct me if I'm wrong, but she also says that allegedly Ryan presented an ultimatum to WME, the biggest talent agency in Hollywood, whose client roster include everyone from Taylor Swift to Justin Baldoni. Basically saying that it's us or him. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is what Justin Baldoni also alleged And I think he said it happened either at the premiere of It Ends With Us or the premiere of Deadpool and Wolverine. Obviously, she says we know what happens next. He gets dropped by WME. Wayfarer Studios had effectively been instantly blackballed, persona non grata in Hollywood instantly, and truly they had done nothing wrong but cast a woman into one of their movies with an allegedly very jealous husband. My source says that Justin Baldoni is legitimately a good guy who truly wanted to do this project, but he cares deeply about women issues. And she goes on to give what she believes. She says, I think Blake was fine with everything in the movie she signed on for, hence not requesting an intimacy coordinator, and then all that changed the day her husband showed up on set and allegedly blew a fuse. She also believes that it was probably him that demanded Justin be put in the basement for the premiere.
According to Wernick, Ryan really gave Downey the hard press. They wrote entire scenes, and Downey even read through them. But what the writers claimed they didn't know at the time was this whole Dr. Doom storyline happening behind the scenes. But honestly, fans aren't buying that excuse. The last few months have been eye-opening when it comes to Ryan Reynolds. And the cold, hard truth is starting to hit. He's not the nice guy he pretends to be. Don't believe it? Well, you might. Want to hear what's coming next?
If he wants to go after you, he infests himself into every area of your life. And he did this Justin Baldoni. He's like, who are your friends, okay? Who owns the production company? Who owns the next movie script? I am going to infest myself everywhere. I'm going to be doing your movie premiere. I'm going to be doing promos and making fun of you, right? I'm going to put myself in the end credits. Like, this is like psychotic behavior.
And no, Candace is not playing around here because Justin's lawsuit makes the very same allegations. According to the filing, on July 22, 2024, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and other cast members attended the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere. At the after-party, things allegedly took a darker turn, reports say Reynolds approached a senior executive at WME and expressed his deep disdain for Justin Baldoni, going as far as to suggest the agency was working with a bleep. And here's the kicker: fans are pointing out that the fact Ryan even invited certain people to that premiere in the first place is raising serious red flags.
We asked Built members what celebrities would be the most fun to hang out with.
He's probably on the list just because he covers himself up in his movies and you don't see his face. Ryan Reynolds, is he one of those? And you want to know something? He's not so funny in real life.
Really?
No, he's not so funny. He's very serious. No, Taylor, then I would do Snoop, and then I would take Ryan off it, and I would put in somebody else.
I'm so surprised that Ryan Reynolds isn't funny. This is like a shocker to me. I see him
he's a good
walking up
actor.
and down our
He can act
neighborhood
funny.
all the time.
He can act funny. But he isn't funny. Maybe he can get to be funny again.
I'm so disappointed, actually.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. See, Candace isn't the only one exposing Ryan. With all the recent drama shaking up Hollywood, more and more celebrities are stepping out of the shadows. Because really, what's the point of hiding when the public already knows half the truth? Take Martha Stewart, for example. She recently spoke out and made it clear Reynolds is not the funny guy the public thinks he is.
Breaking news. It's all coming out in the wash. So Blake Lively, what she did to Justin Baldoni, guess what? She learned it from Ryan. Ryan Reynolds did the same thing to Marina, her last name is Baccaron, who also was in Deadpool. You remember when she made Justin Baldoni go sit in the basement with his family for the movie premiere? Ryan Reynolds did the same thing to Marina and her family. He did not allow her to be part of any of the movie's premieres for Deadpool.
Now, most people might think Martha was just taking playful shots at Ryan's sense of humor, but a good chunk of the internet believes she wanted fans to read between the lines. What she really meant? That Ryan isn't the charming nice guy. Everyone thinks he's a control freak with deeper issues. Sounds extreme, right? Well, before you make up your mind, let's look at what Ryan's co-stars have said. Take Morena Baccarin from the very first Deadpool movie. After being such a huge part of the original film, her role quietly got pushed to the background in the sequel. On the surface, she didn't call Ryan out directly. Instead, she admitted she was disappointed, saying she loved the role but understood why it was cut back, since her character's story still shaped the emotional arc of Deadpool. But here's where it gets messy. Insiders claim there's more to the story. Behind the scenes, Ryan allegedly gave Morena the Justin Baldoni treatment, reportedly blocking her from press events and sidelining her in ways that fans never knew about.
Then I went and dug a little bit more, and the director of Deadpool, Tim Miller, did this interview and said that he left the Deadpool franchise because of Ryan Reynolds. He said it became clear that Ryan wanted to be in control of the franchise. You can work that way as a director quite successfully, but I can't. I don't mind having a debate, but if I can't win, I don't want to play. And I don't think you can negotiate every creative decision. There's too many to make. So Ryan's the face of the franchise, so if he decides that he wants to control it, then he's going to control it. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does.
The worst part, Moreno was this close to landing a much bigger role in the franchise, but Ryan wasn't on board. According to insiders, he and the director clashed over the decision, but in the end, Ryan got his way. And just like that, Moreno was pushed to the sidelines, her character reduced to a shadow of what it could have been.
But I think after he got super famous from the first Deadpool, then things kind of changed. I think he was like, see, you guys see? And then I think I don't know. I mean, would I work with him again? No.
No.
I would not work with him
That
again.
much vitriol.
But I've said that about Michael Bay, and now we're friends, and I would work with him again. But I think Michael Bay is different. And Michael Bay worked on a movie with Ryan Reynolds also. And so he has a very specific opinion.
That may mirror
of
your
Ryan
own.
Reynolds. And that was a good part of our last conversation with me and Bay. But I sort of wish him well because he's so good at Deadpool. And I think it's weird that he hates me.
And get this, Moreno wasn't the only one who had to step back from the franchise because of Ryan. Remember TJ Miller? He played Weasel in the first 2 Deadpool movies. But most of the time, he felt like an outsider looking in and. According to him, Ryan Reynolds' attitude had a lot to do with it. Back in 2022, Miller opened up on the Adam Carolla Show podcast, revealing that his on-set experience with Reynolds was far from pleasant. He described Ryan's behavior as unsettling, even cruel, saying Reynolds acted horrifically mean toward him, almost as if he really was the Weasel character. Miller recalled Ryan saying things like, "You know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star. You just do enough exposition so it's funny, and then we can get back to the real movie." Harsh words, to say the least. In fact, Miller admitted that even if the studio had offered him double the money, he still wouldn't have returned for Deadpool 3, and like many people, he was left wondering, why would Ryan treat him this way? Well, according to Miller, the fame had gone straight to Ryan's head.
You felt it coming from him.
Everybody did. That's why it was awkward. Everybody was like, why is Ryan doing this? And the other weird thing is like, maybe he got, I think he's kind of an insecure dude. He's really nice, but I mean, his Twitter bio is showing you the parts of me that tested the best in focus groups.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that he's joking.
So,
I think that might actually be his real sentiment.
Miller also believed that once you peel back the layers, Ryan wasn't the confident, funny star everyone sees on screen. Instead, he came across as an insecure guy, someone who found his gratification in putting others down.
Blake, what does it mean to be back with Anna? Oh, it's the best. I'm so happy. Anna, what does it mean to be working with Blake again? We're talking about you all day. Oh my God. Come on. Get it in selfie mode.
The way Anna avoided the question.
And it's not just Ryan turns out his wife. Blake Lively isn't much different. According to the streets, Blake has her own reputation for being a control freak. And if you think that's hard to believe, just look at her history with Anna Kendrick. The two first teamed up back in 2018 for A Simple Favor, and recently reunited for A Simple Favor 2. But fans are convinced Anna wasn't exactly thrilled about working with Blake and Gan. The tension between them is becoming harder to ignore.
I just noticed something, and I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but I just noticed that for the new A Simple Favor, I've been calling it A Simple Favor 2. It's supposed to be another Simple Favor with starring Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. When I was looking at it, I noticed, and if you look at the poster, Blake Lively's name is like sitting up higher than Anna Kendrick's, but it's like off to the side up high. It doesn't make any sense. It looks so weird, but it's weird. Anna Kendrick's name is first, but then up higher and to the right of it is Blake Lively's name floating above her. And I looked at, they put out several different posters for this new movie coming out. They announced it's being released May 1st, and it's in all of them. So then I went back and looked at all the A Simple Favor movies previously. Not all of them, but the previous one is higher.
When Anna was asked in an interview what it meant to be back for A Simple Favor 2, she smiled and said, "Oh, it's fun. I'm so happy." But then came the follow-up. And what does it mean to be working with Blake again? That's when things got a little awkward because her reaction said way more than her words ever could. The way Anna dodged that question had fans convinced she's not exactly thrilled about working with Blake. And that lines up with what insiders have been saying for a while now. Apparently, the tension between these two has been simmering behind the scenes. One source even described it as a gigantic pink elephant in the room that nobody wants to acknowledge. The backlash to the initial promo has been brutal. People are protesting, and some are even refusing to see the film. According to insiders, Anna and Blake only have these movies in common. Their relationship is strictly professional, by no means a close friendship. In fact, executives have already been holding last-minute talks, because Anna wants to distance herself from Blake moving forward. Originally, the plan was for Anna and Blake to promote the sequel together, just like the studio requested. But now, Anna's prepared to go it alone. She doesn't want every interview turning into a Lively versus Baldoni Q&A session, especially with the lawsuit drama hanging in the background. And while Blake is contractually obligated to promote the film, she still has the freedom to decide how much she actually does. Beyond SXSW, the ball is in her court. But here's the twist on us not clashing with Blake because of on-set drama. Insiders say it's Blake's control freak tendencies that have made her impossible to work with. And when it comes to star power, Anna is the bigger name, meaning she should have gotten top billing over Blake. But according to reports, Blake made sure that didn't happen. And the proof? It's right there on the movie poster. At the end of the day, Ryan and Blake are starting to look like some of the toughest people in Hollywood to work with. So honestly, it makes perfect sense why Robert Downey Jr. wanted no part in their mess. But what do you think? Was Ryan's behavior the real reason RDJ turned him down? And more importantly, how are Ryan and Blake supposed to bounce back from all this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to check out this next video for even more Hollywood drama you won't want to miss.